Hey guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 78. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful day and are doing better than yesterday. Now, today I had my first ever interview, my first job interview, right? And I couldn't say it went amazing, and I couldn't say it went bad, right? Well, being my first interview, I didn't really know what to expect. Although I could have done some research and prepared for it, I didn't, right? I simply procrastinated and I jumped into this interview without being prepared. And like always, you'd rather prepare than prepare to fail. And today I just didn't do my best, right? I got asked questions about myself, questions about what I expect from the job. And quite honestly, my answers were short and vague, right? They were not effective, and I can guarantee that it wasn't what the employer was hoping in response, right? Because I dressed nice, I smelled nice, I presented myself upright like a businessman, but yet the words coming out of my mouth was not matching this persona I was displaying to him, right? I can see from his face that he was kind of confused, right? He was confused with my answers because it didn't seem like the answers that would come out of someone like me or how I let him perceive me to be, right? And that is the problem with perception too. That is a problem with faking it till making it, right? Obviously, I didn't really fake my words. My words were honest. What I did try to change, what I did try to make him perceive me of is this successful person, is this, very formal person that's looking for a job, right? Wearing a nice suit, nice cologne, nicely trimmed. That's the typical businessman persona identity kind of stylish, right? But obviously my words didn't match up to it. So if we are trying to live up this persona, if we're trying to live up to this character, then our action and behavior are important that it matches on part with it, right? Otherwise, we give off this fake aura around us, and people can sense that aura, right? That aura, especially, can be sensed by people if you are uncomfortable being and living in that character or persona, right? So you may be wearing a suit, you may be going to a fancy restaurant, but if deep down inside you know you don't feel comfortable wearing this suit, you know that you don't belong or won't be accepted in this fancy place, then your aura that you give off to people, people can sense that. You don't have to say a word. People can just sense that from your behaviors and actions, right? This is why it's so important to just be truthful, just be authentic, right? And even if you are new to this new persona, that's okay, right? Today, it was new experience for me. It was new to have an interview, right? It was new wearing a suit and then using wearing that suit in an interview, right? Sure, I wore my suit at home when I do my business studies, etc. But I never really worn it to interview. So that feeling was a bit, I wouldn't say weird, right? It wasn't weird at all wearing a suit to interview. I quite honestly love wearing a suit, right? It was the fact that I believed that I had to live up to this certain degree because I'm wearing a suit. Now, this obviously didn't come later on after the interview where I realized that maybe I should have done some preparation so I could at least handle the questions I was asked, right? But of course, I didn't do any preparation. I didn't prepare. So I prepared to fail today. Obviously, he didn't reject me on the spot, right? He asked for some references, which is very, very common thing to do. Now, I'm not keeping my hopes up too high, right? But you never know, right? We're gonna send the referrals and just do the best on our part. Maybe we had messed up in the beginning, but we don't have to keep on messing up further down the track, right? Maybe our first impression wasn't the best, but it sure can be turned over, or if not, just simply redeem ourselves by keeping up to the word, right? If I promise to send him the reference, I'm gonna send him the reference. I'm not gonna be up in my mind saying, "Oh, I performed horribly in the interview, so I'm just not going to send him the reference because most likely he won't open my email, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Right. That is just overthinking it. That is just giving the situation too much importance than it really is need to have, right? There's no point to keep on doubting the situation, right? I was very happy that I went to the interview. I was happy that I got the chance to have the interview. And matter of fact, I enjoyed the experience to have the interview, right? That is what I'm appreciated of today, right? Whether I get the job at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. Although it is pretty important to me at the moment because I do need to make money, but definitely not critical, right? Definitely not something devastating, right? If I don't get this job, that's okay. I move on. I live on life. I continue to go on life as it is. There are plenty of businesses out there. There are plenty of job opportunities out there that is available for me, right? It is not a big deal if we don't get it the first time, guys. What is a big deal is if we stop after the first failure, when we stop, keep on trying because somebody rejected us, all right? It is okay to fail, right? I'm sure you guys all know that from now, right? It is okay and it is uncomfortable to be rejected, to not be accepted. That is an uncomfortable feeling, right? Everybody wants, I want to be accepted, right? Then simply be better, right? Be better to be accepted. Nobody's going to accept a nobody, all right? That is just the truth, guys. Nobody is going to accept nobody, right? So be somebody, all right? Find out your skill set, find out what you're good at, right? Find out your strength and empathize that strength and provide that to the people and let them know that I have these skill sets. I am this person. This is who I stand for. Take it or leave it, right? But you got to improve with what you have now, right? You cannot just stay with what you have and just expect the tables to turn for you, right? If you have been failing over and over again, then you know that the skill sets you have at the moment, the tools you have in your toolbox are probably out of date or really rusty, right? So find something new, find something better, or just simply improve with what you have now. All right, you might still get rejected from today, from month time on, from years, but if you keep on improving, I can guarantee you that somebody will eventually accept you, right? Because we are never going to be outcasted or unaccepted for our entire life if we continually improve with what we have now. And not only that, but we're going to constantly, right, advertise ourselves out there so people know that we are actually doing something and not just being a nobody, right? Because the worst thing is to work on yourself constantly and not using that skills you learn, not sharing that skill you learn to other people. Because what is good having a Lamborghini, right, parked in a rusty garage, never ever seen the sunlight in his life, right? There's just no point having that opulence car in there for nobody to see. Or you may be self-satisfied that I have a Lamborghini, but is that the really reason you did that? To buy a Lamborghini and just hide in the garage for your own amusement? Like, come on now. All right. We improve, we become better, we try to be better. All right, maybe it's for ourselves, but truly we want to be accepted. We want to be someone. It is why we started to become better, right? If we were accepted from the get-go with all our flaws, our imperfections, with our receding hairline, etc. Nothing against receding hairlines, but you get the point. If we are accepted at our lowest, there was simply no point then to become better, right? It is because we want to be accepted. It is why we are constantly striving to become better. So obviously today I had experienced failure because of my lack of preparation, and I certainly had prepared to fail today. Now, would this failure beat me down? No. Did it get me to overthink a little bit? It absolutely had, right? It made me think, why, David, didn't you prepare for this meeting, right? Even if you prepared and you still failed, at least you know subconsciously that you tried. But I just didn't try. So that is all me to blame. I'm fully accountable for that. And what I can do from now on is to prepare, is to be conscious next time, to fully be aware of what am I getting myself into, and not just going there headlessly and expect to shoot the duck blindfolded, because it doesn't work like that. It didn't work today for sure. All right, I simply didn't live up to the perception I was giving to others, right? Because I didn't prepare, and my behavior and action were not matching the persona I was displaying. I know exactly what I need to do from this point on. With everything I do, I just need to prepare. I just need to start giving a effing fuck about it, right? Whether it's getting a job, whether it's studying, whether it's working my business, whether it's just simply doing everyday chores, I simply have to care about what's going to happen, right? Because if we don't, if we attack life with this attitude of carelessness, no matter what we do, then that is a reflection of our beliefs and values, right? Just because we don't care about something doesn't mean we shouldn't give effort and try to make the best out of it. Because our attitude, not doesn't only go towards one thing, right? It goes towards everything we do. Our attitude is our values and principles, right? So if you slack off at one thing or one thing in particular, that means majority of all of the things you do, that attribute, that attitude has manifested to some degree in all your behaviors, right? So it's not just that one thing. It is everything you do. But this is all I gotta say for today, guys. It has been a pretty good Wednesday. Obviously, there's no reason for me to scroll right now, right? We can only be better, and we can only be better by realizing our mistakes and find ways to improve. Now, the worst thing you guys can do, and the worst thing I can do, is continually allowing ourselves to make those mistakes, even though when we know we were wrong in the first place. And I hope you did learn something from this, guys. But if not, that's totally fine because I will be here for you guys tomorrow. So, see you guys then. Bye bye.